Are we live? I think we're live. Find out here in a second. Yeah, I think we're live. How you guys doing today? It's I don't think I'm going to have too many people on here since I kind of threw this out here a little earlier than I normally do, which is okay. I'm just figuring why not do something different. It worked so well on Sunday. I had a lot of interaction. So I said, well, what if I do it Wednesday nights? Now, maybe, I put up the post on the last movie outpost a little late. And so, but joined DY's Lounge, Drunken Yo's Lounge. So here I am. At least on a Wednesday night, I can actually drink as opposed to a Sunday morning/afternoon when it's a little early to be leaning into my nickname. And that's okay. So I'm was just going to have some fun, and if this is something that people want to start showing up for on Wednesdays, maybe a better time to help, for people that, yeah, it's a little tough for them on Sunday afternoons. Maybe they're out with the kids or the family or just, still sleeping in from the night before. Um, I know in UK they're pretty much, it's the end of the day for them, but for America it's, noon. And this might be a better time for some people to, just get involved. And I want to make this a little bit more relaxed, just have some fun with it. No big deal. Um, just be something, if you get on and you want to watch, or if you want to chat on YouTube, ask me for some things. I'll be more than happy to be a part of it. Hopefully, of course, you're subscribing to the channel and you've got um, notifications on, so when I schedule it, then you'll be there. Uh, but yeah, this is kind of a new thing that we're going to do, and we'll see how it goes. It's not really. I know this is the first one, and nobody realizes that we might be doing this on a different night, so I don't expect anyone to go nuts trying to be on here. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. So, what do we want to talk about first? Well, the first thing I wanted to get in on was the Golden Globes, and kind of wanted to go through each film. Some of them I know, some of them I don't. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of comment on it and see what you guys think. So, um, what we have is, first of all, the Golden Globes are just, I don't know. I feel like all these award shows, they're just pretty people, rich people, just, giving each other handies, basically. And having a new way to dress up and show all the rest of the people what they don't get to do. It doesn't feel like a celebration anymore. It doesn't feel like something that you're vicariously living through. It feels like it's just an in your face kind of thing. So I don't know. I wonder how much longer these shows are going to work because I don't know that anybody's watching them. Um, but Hammond, how are you doing? Uh, my gay my gay black lefty friend didn't even watch the Golden Globes because he can't listen to them. Um, I don't blame him. But we could do it the easy way here. We could talk about what they picked and then explain to them why they're wrong. So that's always fun, I think. So the best film was The Fablemans. Now I saw The Fablemans. I got to tell you, this one guy put it best. I think it wasn't me. Unfortunately, I wish I had thought of it. But do you know the scene in Captain America: Civil War where Tony Stark makes this big holographic thing at the beginning where they show Robert Downey Jr. They've done the de aging on him and everything, and it's like his last day with his dad and mom, and he can say goodbye to him. and it's like his chance to work through some things. That's the Fablemans for Spielberg, I think, because I just couldn't connect really to it. It just was moments in his life that there was no. I mean, it's like okay, his mom is kind of weirdo, and his dad gets kind of crapped on. I think his dad was the unsung hero of the piece because he just it's just the set upon guy who does his best for his family, and everybody craps on him. So, and then the kid wants to be a filmmaker, and he gets to meet his hero. The end. Okay, I'm sure it's very special to you, Stephen, but there was nothing for me to really latch onto. And was it well shot, well acted, well directed? Yes. Was the story worth a damn? Again, it's very personal, Stephen, so I'm sure it meant a lot to him, but I couldn't connect to any of it. And then yeah, I mean, just the stuff that was not. I mean, Avatar: Way of the Water is nominated for best drama. I mean, we're nominating theme park rides now. That's what we're nominating. Elvis, Elvis is just it's a fairy tale version of the Elvis's life, and then I wrote in my 2022 review that this was the 1 millionth Elvis movie made, and so Baz Luhrmann got a free shopping spree at the Atlanta Winn-Dixie. How many more times are we going to tell Elvis's life? He was a great singer. He really influenced the culture. He couldn't get off the pills, and he ended up dying on the toilet. I mean, I don't, I guess this one kind of showed a little bit more how the colonel or whatever his name was kind of ran his life or ran his career and probably didn't do him any favors because he's a carnival barker. But I'm like going, you picked up your manager at a carnival. What'd you think was going to happen? Um, I haven't seen Tar. I'm interested in seeing that because I like the Kate Blanchett and how she's handling some of the speeches in there, especially when she goes after the woke. But I don't know much more about it than that, other than Kate Blanchett is awesome. Top Gun Maverick was my favorite movie of the year, but I mean, it's basically a remake, a really good remake of the original Top Gun with just it was Terminator 2. It's just same movie but up in the stakes, better visuals, better more money, and I got nothing bad to say about it. I don't have a problem with it being nominated, but I don't know the best. I just I don't know why, and maybe it was in the comedies, but I don't know why Everything Everywhere All at Once wasn't in there. Best performance by an actress in film: Kate Blanchett, Tar. Well, the Fablemans. I mean, Michelle Williams did a fine job, I guess, but it just feels like a paint by numbers. And Viola Davis, that's the token pick. That Woman King was a token movie because it wasn't very good and it was completely historically inaccurate. And no, everybody's afraid to say it, but fine. I tried to watch Blonde. I couldn't get through the first 20 minutes of it. I finally gave up. I don't even know what this. I don't remember the Empire of Light. So sure, Kate Blanchett, just because she's awesome. Um, Best performance by an actor in a film, drama, Austin Butler, Elvis. Sure, I've seen none of those others, and I gotta admit that he was the one thing in that movie that I felt like he really captured Elvis. He really was Elvis. He did a great job. Um, the Banshees of Inisherin. The best film, musical, or comedy. Oh, here's everything. Okay, so this one should have been the winner. Sorry, this was the best movie of the year. Um, the John Ford cameo is epic. Yeah, Hammond, that was fun. But again, it was like you know, I don't know. I was wanting more out of that movie. I just didn't get it. So it is what it is. Um, Triangle of Sadness. I just read about that, and or no, I saw it on Red Letter Media, and I feel like that looks interesting. The idea of people getting shipwrecked and the person who cleans the toilets ends up running it like a third world dictator. It sounds great, but Everything Everywhere All at Once was just one of the best movies I've ever seen. I love it more. I think it's unbelievably good, and there's so many layers and stuff going on. Cinema Sins, I think it's the only one they gave it like just one sin, and they did this whole thing where like they were going through their own different universes, so different YouTubers were doing the sins and stuff. It was great, but yeah, he really nailed it and saw all the layers, and was kind of impressed that he really understood it as well as he did. Glass Onion. I mean, I've heard nothing but crap about that. It's like a I mean, they use twins, and the bullet is caught by a book. And just terrible, terrible ideas. Babylon, I haven't seen yet, but I mean, I'd like to see Margot Robbie. And I haven't seen this Banshees of Insurance, so I have no idea, no idea whatsoever. Um, Michelle Yeoh, everywhere, everything all at once wins. Perfect, fine, hand down. I'm there. I do want to see the menu though. Now I hear. I thought sure it was going to be about cannibalism. I guess it doesn't go that way, so that's good to know. But Yo was great. Uh, Best performance and by an actor in a film, musical or comedy. Colin Farrell, The Banshees of Inisherin. Fine. Um, I just I haven't seen the rest of these, so in fact I haven't seen any of these. Um, I just can't bring myself to watch this one because I wasn't that impressed with the first Knives Out. So, best animated film: Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Well, I mean, you were against Puss in Boots. um, I I've heard this Marcel the Shell was okay. Um, Turning Red, I just kind of obvious. Inuo, I don't know what that is, so maybe you guys can tell me. Best non-English language film, Argentina, 1985. I haven't watched it. In fact, I haven't watched it. I've watched it. I've watched RRR, or at least I've watched the first half of RRR because that's a 3 hour, 3.5 hour walkthrough, and I think 45 minutes of it is a dance number at the end. So I need to get through it. But what I saw was like, wow, India could make a insanely ridiculous CGI fest just as good as America. Best supporting actress in any film: Angela Bassett, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I guess because she wasn't laughing the entire time, she managed to do it with a straight face. I don't know. Um, I mean, you could have picked any one of those. You could pick the daughter and Everything Everywhere All at Once. She was amazing. Everybody was great in that cast. So Jamie Lee Curtis in that movie was good too. Nearly unrecognizable. She said that movie's just insulting. She said, if you don't know, is a movie about the Harvey Weinstein stuff. And I think there's something incredibly icky about making a movie about a guy who used the movie industry as his personal sexual plaything for decades, and everyone knew about it. And now that he's been taken away, you're going to make a movie on it to make some more money off of him. It's just gross. Kehu Kwan, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I did love that. Yeah, no time for love, Dr. Jones. He's up there getting that Golden Globe. Good for him. I hope. I hope. I mean, he still speaks kind of the same way. I don't mean just the accent, just kind of this very enthusiastic Asian guy. I think he's Korean. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I just get a kick out of how bubbly he is. That same exuberance that he has as a child actor, he still has. It's somewhat refined, but he still has that as an adult. And I don't know. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see what else he could do. But he may be limited in his parts, and that's a shame. Um, Babylon, more Banshees, The Good Nurse. Okay, but yeah, he was really good in this. He did play a very understated version of his character who just met up with Michelle Yeoh in another universe where they had never gotten together, but they had known each other before they split up, and it was a nice quiet moment. So I think he can do other stuff. I think we just need to see him do it. Best director Steven Spielberg, The Fablemans. Okay, I guess. I think what these guys had to balance and everything everywhere all at once is just. I mean, it was a very straightforward story in The Fablemans. It wasn't like it was having to bounce back and forth. It wasn't doing things in a unconventional way. I don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's kind of nice. I get so tired of everything starting in media res and all that, or we're going to play around with the timelines, or you know, it feels very faddish sometimes. But what those guys did in that movie was really impressive, and Fablemans is just it's a movie. It's fine. It's not terrible. It's just I don't see what was so special about it. I don't get it. I mean, you could say Baz Luhrmann. At least he put a lot of visual flair into the movie, into Elvis. And Avatar: Way of the Water. I mean, isn't that really an animated feature? I mean, really, isn't it? I mean, is it animated except that they, you know, have a couple of guys in green screen here and there? Ah, that's first of all, this movie sucked ass. It was terrible. And second of all, I think that's what $2 billion in box office receipts buys you as a nomination. Um, the Menu is the only movie made last year that I watched. Yeah, that's true. That's if you liked it, I did you like it, Hammond? Did you like Did you like the Menu? I mean, I heard it's a pretty good dark comedy. So let me know what you think. Look, the Fablemans is milk toast, but at least it's not woke nonsense. Yeah, no, you're right. It's not woke nonsense, but I've kind of joked. I'm like, my bar is so low now. It's like, well, at least it didn't piss me off. But I feel like with Spielberg, it's like, no, man, you you've done so much that's so awesome, even in your quieter stuff. I mean, I think Empire of the Sun is one of his most underrated movies. You know, people when they think of World War II Spielberg, they think more about like Saving Private Ryan. But I don't think Empire of the Sun gets nearly enough credit. I think Schindler's List, of course, but that one is so good. And then of course there's 1941. We'll give him a mulligan on that one. It's one of those bad movies that I love. I just love 1941, but I know it's not good, but I enjoy it. Um, yeah, the Menu was okay. I'll never watch it or anything like that. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's the thing. Don't you feel like so many movies that come out now they're just you, other than Maverick, which I admit is not the deepest movie, but it was one that was like I want to see that again. How many movies do you come out of there going, I want to see that again? Everything Everywhere All at Once. I said that. But so many movies, whether they're big blockbusters or these little tiny ones, I watch it and go, The best I could come up was, it was all right. I'm glad I saw it. Never watched it again. Never want to repeat. I don't know why there's so many earlier movies that we could put in and we can enjoy them every single time. You know, from like Die Hard to A Christmas Story or whatever, Back to the Future, Star Wars, Raiders, and other movies. You just like so many now. I don't care to put them back in and watch them. It's one and done, and I'm out. I don't care. So I don't know. Best original song, I do not care. Best TV drama, House of the Dragon. Uh so Eggy thought it was a snub for Better Call Saul. I do get what he's saying. Better Call Saul was just so good, and it's so rare for some of these series, especially ones that go on for so long, to really stick the ending. And Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad both did. So, and considering it was this last season, although I don't know if that's a measure, it should be a reason why you pick one, but it was so good. On the other hand, House of the Dragon was excellent. I can't take anything away from House of the Dragon. Uh, I haven't watched The Crown. I haven't watched Severance, although I do want to watch Severance. Ozark, I started to watch. Here's the thing. I actually had a place down the Lake of the Ozarks. I know the Lake of the Ozarks. I'm pretty familiar with it. Spent a lot of time down there. And so my problem was is that when they filmed it, one, they clearly filmed it in Vancouver because it doesn't look like what they show. And two, it's just a middle class. I mean, they have a Home Depot and a Walmart and a Lowe's and two Walmarts and McDonald's and Burger King, and it's just not that skeezy like the way they show. It's just a lot of vacation homes and condos, and it's just people go out in their boats and then they go back for the rest of the week to work, and then they come out for the weekend and spend the weekend out there. It's like I don't know. Yeah, I guess the story's good. I had trouble getting past that. I guess when you know the place, it makes it more difficult. So that's on me, I suppose. That's on me. Oh yeah, I did watch Maverick from last year. I watched Maverick 3 times. Yeah, I mean it was a movie that you wanted to go in, you wanted to rewatch. It was great. Best actress in a TV drama, Zendaya, Euphoria. I have no idea what that is. I don't. I have no clue about that. The only one I know here is Emma Darcy from House of the Dragon. She was good. Best actor in a TV drama, Kevin Costner, Yellowstone. Jeff Bridges, The Old Man, didn't see that. Diego Luna and Andor. Diego Luna, he barely had his character barely had any agency in that show, except when he's unexpectedly murdering somebody or shooting him in the back. And he's kind of bland. He's just not that emotive, not that expressive. I don't even know why he got nominated. Um, Eggy says he loves Yellowstone. There's not much depth to Costner's role as John Dutton. I would disagree that there's not much depth to his role. That John Dutton is a deep character. There's a lot going on, but Costner just is kind of like turning into Jeff Bridges. They just bring on their best grizzled now, and that's it. So I kind of agree or disagree. Um, but Odenkirk, yeah, he should have won. Odenkirk was unbelievable in Better Call Saul, and considering his last season, he should have got it. I don't know. Maybe he's got it before. I don't know. You get any money for this, or is it just the prestige? I don't know. Best TV musical or comedy: Abbott Elementary. One over the Bear, The Hacks, Only Murders in the Building, and Wednesday. The only one I saw is Wednesday. I liked it, so I'm going to say since it was the only one I saw, it should have won. This Albert Elementary, I'm just looking at it. It looks woke as hell. So I have a feeling that's just cringy. Could be wrong. Best actress in TV, musical, or comedy. Quinta Brunson, Albert Elementary, or whatever. Kaylee Kuko, the flight attendant. I haven't watched it. Gene Smart, Hacks. Jenna Ortega Wednesday. So I haven't watched any of these, so I don't have any real. Best actor Jeremy Allen the Bear. Barry. I've heard good things about Barry, but none of the rest of this I know anything about. Um, Best limited series, anthology series, or made for TV. The White Lotus. I guess The White Lotus is a little bit like American Horror Story in the fact that each season is its own deal. It's kind of like anthology seasons. And they just tell one story through a season and they move on. But instead of being weird horror, bizarre things, it's just murder mysteries. Heard good things, don't know. I have Pam and Tommy on my list. I just haven't watched it. And the Jeffrey Dahmer story, I don't want to watch another thing about Jeffrey Dahmer. It's just I feel like how many more times are we gonna prop up this guy? I know he's dead and all, but still, it's just like he was a weirdo that ate people. Just stop. Amanda Seyfried, The Dropout. Again, I don't know anything about that. George and Tammy. My wife is watching George and Tammy. She really likes it, so she's got a thing for country music stars. Or her favorite movie is the one with Walk Hard. I think. Um, I maybe that's the it's the one where with Johnny Cash, June and Johnny Cash. She loves it. Uh, Julia Garner inventing Anna, Lily James, Pam and Tommy, and Julia Roberts Gaslit. Yeah, I haven't watched any of them, so I don't know. Really came prepared for this one. I have my wine. That's if we're gonna be called Drunken Yoda, should have the alcohol. I do, so at least I've done that my part. Ah, in my belly. Pam and Tommy again. Blackbird, Staircase, Under the Banner, Jeffrey. Don't know. Don't know. Don't care. Best Supporting Actress in a Limited Series, Anthology Series, or Made for TV. Jennifer Coolidge, The White Lotus. Stifler's mom. Good for her. Claire Danes, Fleischman's in Trouble, Under the Banner, Monster, and White Lotus. Okay. It just seems like we got a lot of the same stuff on the watch list. More Blackbird, The White Lotus, Dahmer, Pam and Tommy. Okay, whatever. Ozark, Abbott Elementary. Um, More Abbott Elementary. I'm trying to say. Okay, so yeah, I mean, so the Golden Globes, another year, nobody cares. Um, I saw the Ant Man and Wasp, Quantum Mania. Yeah, I liked it okay. I mean, it looks a little, at least it looks a little more serious. I don't think you guys can hear it, and I know it looks like crap coming through. Um, but at least it looks definitely more serious. Like they're taking the MCU seriously again. And also that it seems to have, well, the one thing I did notice in the Ant Man trailer no ants. Where's the ants? Why'd you bring it? You're Ant Man. That's your name, Ant Man. You're supposed to be, we know you're supposed to control ants. Where's the ants? I want to bet we don't see a single ant in this thing. I bet you we don't. Um, I kind of like what they did with Kang as far as, because he always has that weird blue mask on, and this is like they made a blue force field mask that kind of gives the same effect. So I kind of like that. And then you have Modoc. Now here's the unsubstantiated rumor. Modoc within the MCU, which would this would actually kind of make sense when you think of the context, but Modoc may be Yellow Jacket from the first one. That's how he ended up after the squishing, after the car crunching or whatever. He ended up in a car crusher of his own suit. That he ended up becoming Modoc. And I was like, I kind of like that. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that Marvel purists will hate it. They'll say, "Oh, Modoc is whatever he is," but I mean, it's like I've always thought Modoc was kind of ridiculous. There he is. It just the whole idea of Modoc is just bizarrely weird to me and doesn't. I just can't help but laugh at him. He doesn't look like a serious villain to me. So he's if he's the Yellow Jacket, whatever his name was in the first Ant Man movie, um, I was like, okay, that would be a nice callback. I could kind of put up with that. But if he's just whatever he is, like everybody says Jack Kirby is, but like one of the comments I saw in here. Let's see. I said, is anyone? Am I the only one that thinks Modoc is ridiculous? Just in general, I can't take him seriously. Sluggo says, "Oh yeah, for sure, but that's what's fun about it. He's such a physical abomination. He has no other choice but to be some hateful cosmic psycho." Um, However, Longshank said, "Well, take your pick between him and Armin Zola, the guy with a face on a TV monitor, on his stomach, and a video camera for a head." Yeah, I know it's pretty hilarious. I love how they did that by just putting him in a computer and then putting the camera in a green screen like an old 1970s monitor. It was kind of a nice way to bring that back, but he says both are Jack Kirby creations, and that's why he's the most overrated comic book ever. No, I don't think he's the most overrated. I think he's rated just fine. I think he's added and gave so much to the industry. I don't think he can be overrated. But that being said, it doesn't mean everything he created was gold. I remember Machine Man in the '70s. I mean, it's like his art was great and he did a ton of stuff, but they weren't all they weren't all gold. So do we get this Kang? We'll see. Maybe this Kang. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm so disenchanted with the MCU right now because of the Phase 4 was just so bad. I mean, She-Hulk was such a bizarre misfire that seemed to just want to, well, not seemed, the writers actually said it. They wanted to piss off the very people that they perceive as the main fans of the MCU, which is, straight white geeks. Like we're the problem of the world for some reason. It's like, God, I didn't get beat up in high school constantly and picked on and told I was, a complete nerd and everything for liking all this stuff, to finally get here now and just be told I'm evil for liking this stuff. And not only are we gonna take the stuff you like, we're gonna ruin it for you and make it worse. It's like, what did I do to you? It's like you're getting paid for it, aren't you? Jesus. So yeah, I was so disenchanted with everything they did in Phase 4, and now, while I admit the trailer looks better, we'll see what they do. Um, I just don't know. Peyton Reed, at least he's done all three of them, so it'll have at least a similar tone to it. And I never thought the tone was bad for the Ant Man movie. So, okay, that's Ant Man. There we go. And finally, those of you watching on the political channel, I've actually done a dual stream. I doubt that anybody's watching on my political channel. In fact, I am reasonably certain that nobody is watching over there because there's barely anybody watching over here. But I was happy to make it work because just trying to get used to this. But we're gonna get a little, I guess not political, more like cultural, I guess would be the better word for it. But well, it doesn't look like it is working over there. I put it in there, but I don't know if it's actually streaming to it. So maybe it's not. Oh well. At least I'm streaming to one place. Oh wait, might help if I was in the right account. Dumbass. Not smart. I'm not smart today. Let's see, here we go. I am streaming over here. Is anybody watching it? Um, yeah, sure. Because I have a customer. So it's made for kids. That's fine. There has been one view and one like. How about that? I'm yeah. This is step one to taking over the world. That's how it works. So I wanted to do this one. Filmmakers say no to non-white bad guys. So this is a perfect example of where racism works both ways. I mean, in the end, you're still being racist. And what this is what's his name? Kumali Nanjiani. I work with a lot of Indian guys, but I just struggle with the names. Um, he says, I think Hollywood now, even though they're trying to be more diverse, is still weird. Good intentions can sometimes lead to misguided solutions. If the bad guy's a brown guy, what message is that sending? Well, I want to play more bad guys. Sebastian Stan does these big Marvel movies, and then he'll play a psychopath. I was told that was going to be hard because people don't want to cast nine non-white people as bad guys. So you're demeaning the poor guy. You're taking away roles as an actor. You're taking any actor will tell you that they always want to play the bad guy because it's more fun. Um, and you could probably think of 100 movies that you've seen where an actor really got to chew up the scenery as the bad guy. I think of like Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor. It's just absolutely hilarious, just chewing up the scenery, right? And you can think of, I don't know, probably a million more. The point is, it's like, well, only white guys could be villains. It's like, well, that's not. First of all, there's probably black guys, obviously an Indian guy here, women. There's probably a lot of people who'd like to play a bad guy. Um, take Lena Headley in Judge Dredd. Fantastic bad guy. Um, Now I don't know. Maybe she gets. This was before all the woke nonsense, but it's like Wesley Snipes in Demolition Man. I mean, clearly he was having a ball in that movie, and I was having a ball with him because he was freaking hilarious. He wouldn't get to play that role now, and that's not. It's like, what do you think you're being nice, but what you're saying is you're being racist towards white people because you think that white people only perceive minorities as villains and that we think that they're all crooks and they're all murderers and we have to be shown that. You're being ridiculous towards minorities because you see them as some sort of angelic beings without sin. And that if they do sin, it's because of external forces or because of us white people in general. So you're taking away all their agency. You're treating them as something that's not human. Well, they're humans. Treat them as humans. Everybody should be treated as a human and then be judged on their merits of what they do or don't do. But when you treat them as something other than human, in the end, you're just demeaning them. I mean, this idea that all Native Americans were just part of the peaceful people, just part of nature and harmony. It's like, do you think there weren't Native American rapists? There were. Were there Native American families and protectors and just quiet people living out their lives and doing great things? Yeah, there were those too. Were they murdering and sacrificing children in the Aztec rituals. Oh yeah, it was horrible, bloody. This idea, I mean, it's like because they're humans, and humans do great and terrible things, and when we start treating them as sub races or sub cultures or things like that, you end up hurting the very people. Most of the time, you end up hurting the very people you're trying to help. And the reason why is because the only thing you see of value or lack of value is how they were born physically. It's the only thing you can see of them. In Hollywood, that's all you're doing. And so now he can't play a bad guy. Well, that's just ridiculous. Um, the only reason he's getting cast in Chippendales, which is probably a much meatier role because this guy that did Chippendales had his ups and downs because he really was Indian. So, but that's kind of a loophole in the whole thing. Um, so I'm sure he had a lot of fun with that, and good for him for being able to do it. But I get what he's saying. It's like we're not treating minorities as humans. We're not treating blacks, Indians, Asians. We're not treating them as humans. We're treating them as something else. And that to me is go get your hood and go burn your cross because you're really no different. I don't care how altruistic your motives are. Your attitudes and your ideas are really no different. You don't understand the idea that we're all just people and we all do good and bad things and we all want to do the same things. And we just have different colored hair and skin. It's not a. I mean, this was a simple idea that we had figured out 50 years ago. Like we fought and we did all this civil rights and we kind of, by the 80s it was just kind of like, oh yeah, that was stupid, wasn't it? I'm glad we don't think that way anymore. And now we do again. And it's really disgusts me. So, yeah, that's where we are. That's where this has gone. So, yep, this has been fun. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here because just haven't gotten the views that I would hoped. But if we keep doing it, then people will find us. We'll have fun with it, and I will try to get this up on the podcast and everything. So that's the big deal. Thank you very much for being here. If you were here, thank you, Hammond. And we will try to do this on Wednesdays because it's just a chance for me to sit back, relax, and certainly in the future, if it's like what it was last Sunday, we will definitely. I'll be happy to interact with you, and I will put in where you can contact me directly. I'll send you a link if you want to get on the stream and just talk with me directly. Be a part of this. Yeah, I know these guys on YouTube. They get big, and you try to get their attention. They don't. They kind of stick with their group of friends who are also big, and they want to get the views. And good for them, but I don't know. I kind of like the idea of just talking to the audience members and bringing them on and talking to them. And the more we do that, even if we get big, if just picking random people out of the audience who wants to talk or has been around, I'd like to do that more. It'd probably get more difficult if it really did get popular, but it's worth a shot. So, anyway, I am Drunken Yoda. You can find me on two different channels, either Drunken Yoda Unplugged. You can look that up on YouTube or Last Movie Outpost. And don't forget, we are lastmovieoutpost.com, where we have all the latest in movie news, streaming news, and everything cool about film. We are the cool news now. You can reach me at contact us at lastmovieoutpost.com, Drunken Yoda at Last Movie Outpost. I am at Drunken Yoda 1. And the main page's Twitter is at Movie Outpost, where you can find all our stories getting shared on there, or just come to lastmovieoutpost.com. Check every day because I guarantee there's a new story there every day, if not 5 or 6. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next stream.